Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is what if Darth Vader saved Anakin Skywalker with time travel. Let's start today's story 15 years after Revenge of the Sith, when Vader is at the height of his power. One day he's sitting inside his castle on Mustafar, planning his next mission, leading the Inquisitors against surviving Jedi, when he begins to sense something through the Force, a disturbance. Something is calling to him, something not from this world. He hones his focus on this, and realizes the disturbance is coming from beneath his castle. He exits and travels to the caves underneath his castle, and begins making his way through the chaotic pathways in which someone could easily become lost. He feels the disturbance becoming stronger, and knows he's in the right place. He continues traveling deeper and deeper, until the cave reaches the end. He ignites his lightsaber, the crimson hue igniting the ragged walls around him, as he senses the Force is extremely strong in this moment, and he realizes what the disturbance is. A nexus in the Force has been activated directly under his castle. He looks towards the front-facing wall, sensing the core of the nexus is there, and blasts the rocks away with the Force to reveal a room with red writing all over the walls and a smoky tablet in the center of the room. The writing is illuminated in an ancient language, even to him, but there are only traces of Sith writing, which only he and Palpatine could read. Vader can only make out pieces: Vergence, World Between Worlds, Entrance, but can't decipher what this place really is. He puts his saber down and begins meditating. As he settled in, the oppressive darkness of the chamber seemed to close in around him, the air thick with the ancient power of the Nexus. The room was plunged into near total darkness, save for the faint glow of the sculptures on the walls. Closing his eyes, he reached out with the Force, letting its currents flow through him, deep and turbulent, like the molten rivers of Mustafar above. His thoughts were drawn inward, away from the physical realm, as he delved into the mysteries of the Nexus. He saw flashes of his past, flashes of Anakin Skywalker, the boy he had been, the Jedi Knight he had become, and the monster he had turned into. He felt the weight of his choices, the burden of his failures, and the lingering echoes of a name he tried to forget. But the Nexus did not allow him to dwell on the past for long. It tugged at his consciousness, pulling him towards something greater, something beyond the confines of the reality he knew. He opened his eyes, and in front of him glimpsed an ancient doorway, a shimmering portal that seemed to hum with the power of the Force itself. As he focused on it, the portal began to open, revealing a pathway through a vast star-filled void. The whispers of the past grew louder as Vader stood, knowing the Force was calling for him to enter, and he did just this. Vader fell to the ground, but pushed himself up on the luminous pathway, and he was now in the world between worlds. He heard faint echoes of voices, familiar and distant, Obi-Wan's stern warnings, Padme's desperate pleas, and Palpatine's seductive promises. The world between worlds was a realm where the fabric of time could be altered, where fate was not fixed. Vader begins walking as the portals open and close all around him. He sees his past, and unbeknownst to him, his future. But not a single future, many possibilities. He witnesses portals of him with his mother, happy in her old age. Him and Padme raising their twin children. Anakin inside the Jedi Council, a master of the Order and future Grand Master. But he also sees the opposite. Himself bearing the armor of Darth Vader, with the face of Anakin Skywalker, unscarred by the fires on Mustafar, as he stands over Obi-Wan, victorious, his eyes filled with the cold resolve of a Sith Lord who would fully embrace the darkness within. Vader continues walking, moving through the surreal expanse of the world between worlds, the pathways shifting between his feet, and he continues watching the portals open and close around him, each one a window into a different reality. The visions tore at him, conflicting emotions surging through his mind, as he witnessed the spectrum of what could have been, and what might still be. Vader takes a turn, and begins down the path of the past, watching himself as Darth Vader, carrying out the Emperor's bidding, executing Jedi and civilians alike. He cannot help but feel a sense of shame, especially after seeing the possible futures he had spoiled. One specific portal opens next to him, and Vader walks up to it, the night it all went wrong. The point where Anakin Skywalker ceased to exist, and Darth Vader was born. He saw himself in the dimly lit office of the Supreme Chancellor, with Mace Windu standing over Palpatine, victorious. He watches as Palpatine blasts lightning towards Windu, and Vader can see the conflict on Anakin's face, and remembers what was going through the young boy's mind. Vader gets ever so closer, engulfed in the movie of the past.
Don't do it, Anakin. I beg you. You will lose everything.
But he can see the moment the young Skywalker makes up his mind. Vader wishes he could stop this, wishes he never joined Palpatine that night, and maybe Padme would still be alive. He watches as Anakin cuts off Windu's hand, and Vader sees the smirk on Palpatine's face, which only enrages Vader.
This was your plan all along.
In his rage, Vader bursts through the portal and enters the past, the moment where it all changed 15 years ago. He stands there as Windu has been struck with lightning, and Vader ignites his lightsaber to block Palpatine's lightning and pull Windu away. Hey guys, before I continue the video, I'd like to talk about something that me and the other creator of Fantasy Folklore have been working on for months and months. We're launching our new shop called Fantasy Sabers, where we sell high quality replica sabers as well as some insane unique saber designs. We have movie replicas inspired by your favorite characters, including the Son, the Chosen, and the Father, as well as Padawan sabers, Void Blade, a cross-hilt blade which you can tuck into the side, Crimson, a saber for a Padawan of the dark side, and Nova Flare, a saber for a Guardian of the Force. There's a saber here for everyone, and we have blades from RGB to NeoPixel, which include a variety of colors, sound fonts, saber light effects, and battle effects. I've had so much fun with the sabers I've received, learning the iconic Anakin spin, and many more. Regardless of whether you want to purchase one, check out our website in the description to see what sabers we offer, and comment below what your favorite one is. We're doing an opening sale. If you sign up to our newsletter, you can unlock the code FANTASY and receive 5% off your first order. We're also giving away a replica Sun NeoPixel lightsaber, and to enter this, all you have to do is comment on the video, letting me know what your favorite saber we offer is. So don't miss out on this. We're going to be releasing new sabers every month with new additions to our collection. The link is in the description, and I can't wait for you all to enjoy our sabers. Now back to the video. Palpatine stops his lightning and wears a look of confusion, and Anakin's face is similar, both confused who this strange machine of a man is. Palpatine is furious. His victory was almost assured, and he's essentially turned Anakin to his side. But this mysterious figure is the last thing that stands before him. Mace Windu stands, his skin ragged and burned, but still alive, and positioned himself next to Vader. The Jedi looks at his red saber, and can feel through the Force that this man is a Sith. However, he just saved him, so for now, he needs to be a temporary ally, since he cannot defeat Sidious and Anakin by himself. Palpatine stands.
Who are you?
But he ignores him and turns to Anakin.
I know you are conflicted, young one, but I am here to save you. I am you. From another time. The version of you that joined Palpatine in this very moment.
In Palpatine's mind, he already considered this a possibility. He recognized the design of the suit, one that Palpatine had already envisioned and planned to use in the future. But he can't let Anakin believe this, or he'll lose him.
You lie.
And he turns to Anakin.
Don't listen to him, Anakin. He's a Jedi trick, designed to confuse you, to turn you against me. Remember what they've taken from you, what they would do if they knew of your plans. This is their deceit.
Anakin is having a hard time believing Vader, since he doesn't believe in the concept of time travel, and Vader can sense he's not getting through to him. Anakin's eyes flickered with doubt as he stared at the masked figure before him, the dark eyes of Darth Vader reflecting the same torment he felt within.
Anakin, we must kill them. If we don't, we can't save your wife.
And Palpatine acted before Anakin's mind could be swayed and sent lightning blasting towards Vader, but Windu stood in front of him and blocked, returning the favor as he engaged the Sith Lord for round 2. But the fight would not be easy. He's fatigued and only has one hand to fight with. Anakin ignited his blade and advanced towards Vader, who was forced to do the same. With each clash of their lightsabers, the Force sent a shockwave through the room, sending sparks flying. Vader fought defensively, blocking and parrying Anakin's strikes, and attempted to reason with him.
You know the truth.
Vader's voice was a mechanical growl, laden with years of suffering.
This is what you become if you choose the path you are about to take. I have lived in the agony The betrayal, the loss, Padme, the twins. Everything you hold dear will be destroyed.
Anakin's grip tightened on his lightsaber as he took a step back, his mind reeling.
Padme, the twins. What do you know about them? How could you possibly know?
Vader hesitated, his voice trembling slightly, despite the mechanical modulation.
Because I was you once. I loved her too. More than you know. And we lose her, Anakin. I lose everything. The power Palpatine offers is a lie. He will turn you into something unrecognizable, just as he did to me.
No, you're lying!
Anakin screamed, the tensions high, as he lunged forward, his sapphire blade clashing against Vader's crimson, with a brilliant flash. Vader knew he couldn't defeat this version of Anakin, in his prime, and filled with hate. His words weren't getting through, and Skywalker was advancing. He launched a powerful swing, aimed at Vader's helmet, and the blade connected, sparking against the metal, slicing through it like a knife through butter. His mask cracked and shattered, revealing a glimpse of the scarred and burned face beneath. The face of Anakin Skywalker, twisted by pain and the dark side. Anakin stumbled back, eyes wide with shock and horror, as he gazed upon the scarred and deformed version of himself, the reality of the situation sinking in. The realization hit him like a speeder crash. This monster really was him, the result of his choices, his mistakes.
No, this can't be.
Anakin whispered, his voice trembling with the weight of the truth.
I won't let this happen. I won't become you.
Then you know what you must do.
Across the battlefield, Palpatine and Windu engaged in round 2, but this time, Palpatine had the upper hand. His lightning had sapped the energy out of Windu, and he was fighting fatigued, resulting in his movements growing slower and uncoordinated. Even with his Vapart, it wasn't enough, as the Sith Lord pierced Windu's chest with his lightsaber and ended his life once and for all. Palpatine turns to Anakin.
Kill him, Anakin. Kill him now, and the galaxy will be ours.
No.
Anakin's resolve had hardened. He turned to face Palpatine, his blue lightsaber igniting with a renewed purpose. He pointed it directly at Palpatine.
You've manipulated me, twisted me, but I see now what I have to do.
Vader, his mask damaged but still functional, stood beside his younger self.
Together, we can put an end to this conflict once and for all.
Palpatine's eyes roared with fury as he unleashed a torrent of Sith lightning at both of them, but Vader intercepted and deflected the deadly energy. Anakin rushed forward, his blade flashing as he closed the distance. He attacked with an aggressive style, and Palpatine was forced to destroy one of the vases in his office to ignite a second blade as Vader joined the fray and pushed forward ruthlessly. But the balance had shifted. Anakin and Vader fought as one, their lightsabers striking in tandem. Palpatine was overwhelmed by their relentless assault and tried to retreat, but it was too late. With a decisive strike, Anakin and Vader's blades pierced the Sith Lord's chest, through his heart and lungs, and he collapsed to the floor. The Skywalkers stand victorious over Palpatine's body, his life force rapidly fading. His eyes burned with a venomous hatred, his once commanding voice now a rasp, laced with venom.
You think you've won. Fools, the both of you.
He hissed, the dark side still clinging to him like a shadow.
The dark side is forever. It will consume you both. It will consume everything. You can never escape it, Skywalker. It is your destiny.
His lips twisted into a final bitter smile, and with that, the Dark Lord of the Sith exhaled his last breath, his body crumpling lifeless as the room fell into silence. Anakin turns to Vader.
What happens now?
You choose your path, Skywalker. The future is no longer set in stone. But remember, the choices you make will shape the galaxy in your image.
Anakin nodded, his heart heavy with the weight of the journey ahead.
Follow your heart, Anakin, and only then will you have everything you've ever desired.
Vader takes one step and collapses to the ground as his body begins to glow a soft blue, and he knows he doesn't have long left.
I'll never forget you, Vader, thank you for helping me see the truth.
And with that, Vader begins to turn to dust.
And tell Padme you love her.
Vanishing like mist in dawn. Since Anakin never turned to the dark side, Vader ceased to exist and therefore has disappeared. And with this, the timeline was restored. Anakin took a deep breath, the events of the past few moments playing in his mind. He felt a profound sense of clarity and purpose, but also the guilt of being involved in Windu's death. He wonders how he'll explain it all to the Council and Senate, but decides on the ultimate decision. He decides to keep it all to himself and proclaim that alongside Windu, he defeated Palpatine, but couldn't have done it without Mace, but he succumbed to his injuries before the fight ended. At this moment, Anakin contacts Yoda and Obi-Wan as their holograms appear in the room.
Anakin, what's happened? We've been worried. We've all felt a shift in the Force.
And Anakin tells him the truth he's created, that Palpatine was the Sith Lord, and that he and Windu confronted him and killed him, but that Master Windu didn't survive. A shadow passed over Yoda's face.
Sad this news is, but free the galaxy from the Sith you have. Proof we will need. The Senate. Convinced there must be.
Anakin, you must retrieve the security footage of what's happened and meet us at the Senate.
And Anakin does just this, but edits the footage carefully, erasing everything after he had entered the room, only showing Palpatine killing the Masters on the Council. The Senate was initially furious with the Jedi, that one of their own had killed the Chancellor in cold blood and attempted to take over the Republic. But Yoda and the Council refute these allegations and present their findings to the Senate. The galaxy watched as the truth unraveled. Palpatine was the Sith Lord Darth Sidious and had been manipulating both sides of the war from the very beginning, sowing chaos and destruction for his own gain. The Kaminoans were brought before the Senate, where they admitted their involvement, working with Count Dooku and inserting Order 66 into the inhibitor chips of the clones. The galaxy recoiled in shock after hearing the full extent of Palpatine's plans, but the truth had finally been revealed and the Senate supported the Jedi. For his bravery and actions in defeating the Sith, Anakin was granted the rank of Master. The decision was unanimous, but he accepted the position with lingers of doubt for his almost fall to the dark side. Not long after, Padme gave birth to the twins, Luke and Leia. Anakin was filled with a joy he had never known, holding his children in his arms and would do anything to protect them. He told Obi-Wan about them, who revealed he always knew about his and Padme's relationship, and that together, they will reveal the truth of his family to the Jedi Council. They did this the following day, and after harsh and deep discussions by the Jedi Council, they allowed Anakin to stay, saying that exceptions had been made in the past for extraordinary circumstances, giving Revan and his family as the example. Anakin was overjoyed by this, and stood on his balcony that night with Padme beside him, cradling their daughter, with Luke nested in his arms. For the first time in a long time, he felt a sense of peace. The dark future that Vader had shown him was no more, replaced by a new beginning, one filled with hope and love. Let's fast forward 18 years into the future. Anakin and Padme had 4 more children, 2 boys and 2 girls, and his family had grown to 8. His power had grown astronomically during this time, and was seen as the strongest Jedi in history, and a beacon of hope around the galaxy. His wisdom guided the Jedi Council, and his actions brought a peace to the Republic that it had not seen since its creation. One day Anakin stands by the lake on Naboo, after visiting their family's holiday home. He looks across the crystal clear water and vibrant green plains, thinking of Vader, about what his life would have been if he never saved him all those years ago. He hears calls behind him, as Luke and Leia come to stand by their father, asking him what he wanted to talk to them about. Firstly, he wishes them a happy birthday, and states that he couldn't be more proud of the Jedi and young adults they've become. He pauses.
You're 18 now, and are now Jedi Knights of the Order. And it's about time I tell you the tale of a man I used to know, named Vader.
Ignite your imagination with Fantasy Sabers. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out What If Darth Revan Trained Anakin and What If Thanos' Snap Affected the Star Wars Galaxy. Don't forget to check out Fantasy Sabers in the description to explore our wonderful replica and unique saber designs. There's one for everyone. Let me know what you thought of the video in the comments below, and may the Force be with you.